I've never been more disgusted in my life. What's up, guys? You already know the intro. And if you don't, if you're new, subscribe, hit that like button, post notifications, all that. But you already know. Noname. Another Giants vid. First half reaction. This team looks dead in the water, man. They look like some fish just floats up to the top of the water, ready for anybody to take them. This defense, from the start of the first quarter, looked bad. They look gassed. They look gassed early. In fact, I could pinpoint the exact moment when the defense just sort of gave up and they died right there on the field. I could pinpoint the exact moment where the offense took a turn for the worse. But before I do that, Daniel Jones and Jabril Peppers, these guys are playing their butts off. They definitely are out there trying to win. Jabril Peppers especially made a great play for us on he forced a fumble. Can't remember. I think it was on Dalvin Cook. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to recover it in the end zone. Nate Stupar recovered it on the one. And on the very next play, Pat Shurmur, who I'm about to get into, he's having a terrible game calling plays, that is. Called a really bad run play straight up the middle, which was already predictable. And that's one reason it's bad. Another one is because you're down to your third string running back. Another one is because you're in your own end zone. You shouldn't be calling a run play, maybe play action or something. And the fourth reason is it was 9 guys on the Vikings defensive line lined up against 5 or 6 Giants offensive linemen and tight end. There's no way you're winning that matchup, no matter how good your offensive line is. And obviously the Vikings tackled him in the end zone and got the safety. So yeah, man, the score right now is 18-7. To be honest, it should be more, but the Vikings, they got a safety, that's 2 points, 2 field goals, that's 6 points, and I think they got, hey, am I forgetting something? Hold up. I feel like I'm forgetting another touchdown or another field goal. Whatever the case is, their first touchdown was a gift from the refs on one of the worst, I think it was illegal contact calls I've ever saw in my life. Janoris Jenkins was just playing defense. His hand literally grazed the receiver's face mask. Didn't even pull it or anything. On the play that the Giants actually got a sack, so that negated the sack and gave the Vikings a new first down. And that was on the drive right after we scored DJ to Darius Slayton. And in addition to that, the refs are just seem blind to call any holding calls against the Vikings. I've seen more holding calls in this game than I have seen when Eric Flowers was playing for the Giants, man. It's crazy. So that already took away what little momentum we built up. Pat Shurmur, from the beginning of the game, in fact, on that touchdown drive, you could point out he's being a little too cutesy with his calls. He's outplaying himself. He's outsmarting himself. He's trying to call so many trick plays to confuse the Vikings defense that he's confusing himself, instead of just, I don't know, making it a little bit simpler, sticking to passing downfield, which there's only been 2 downfield passes. One of them was to a wide open Sterling Shepard, which Shepard couldn't haul in, and the other one was the touchdown pass. Other than that, he's calling a lot of short comeback routes, a lot of end arounds, and a lot of run plays. And I would be one to usually say, yeah, stick with the run, but we're down to our third running back. It's not a good idea at this point. If we were still with Gallman, and even better, if Saquon was not injured, yeah, stick to the run. But we're down to our third string guy who usually spends most of his time blocking or on the bench, and is showing that he's not a great runner. So, stick to the pass a bit more. And then Betcher, this defense is getting toasted and roasted out there, man. Kirk Cousins, they're making him look like Tom Brady. It's crazy. They're running the same 3 plays on the Vikings offense. A drag route, a screen pass, and some crossing routes. That's literally for the past 2 or 3 drives. Those are the only 3 plays they've been calling. And I don't know what Betcher is doing over there, but he's not adjusting at all to 3 plays. They've been cutting us up with 3 plays only. Go back and look at the film, and Betcher is not adjusting on the crossing routes. And because we're still in zone coverage for some reason it seems like every other play, Betcher's calling some type of zone coverage, so the crossing routes leaves the receivers wide open. There's always a check down in the middle that's wide open, and the Giants always bite on play action and screens, which leaves Dalvin Cook to just run over our entire defense. I think he has over 100 scrimmage yards already. It's crazy. I'm gonna have to put this on Betcher, because this is exactly what happened in the first 2 weeks of the season. He's not adjusting to very simple things that a defensive coordinator should be able to adjust to. And I understand part of this is because, like I already said, the refs took away a lot of momentum from us by calling that terrible call, to be frank with y'all. But also because we're so injured at our linebacker position, like not just starting level but in-depth level, that it's going to be easy to run all over this team and easy to pass all over them. Like, he still needs to adjust. If halftime adjustments are not made, we're definitely going to lose this game. I mean, we're already down by 11 points. We do get the ball back at the half. So the first thing I'm going to look for is to see if Pat Shurmur adjusts and he starts trying to play football instead of stop playing 40 chess or whatever he thinks he's playing with the other coach on the other sideline, because he's really just doing too much. But that's my reaction for now, y'all. The team looks dead. Hopefully the defense gets a bit energy back into him. Hopefully Betcher adjusts. And hopefully Shurmur just goes back to being what he was during the Buccaneers game in the second half. But I'll be back in the second half, y'all. So we're like under 9 minutes in the fourth quarter, and I really could have done this like part of the recording earlier, but I wanted to wait. Listen, man, Daniel Jones is not going to be the one to blame for the loss of this game. The receivers are just dropping balls left and right, man. The only receiver that's been playing consistently well today is the rookie Darius Slayton. Jones has hit Evan Ingram a couple times in double coverage right in his hands. Like, literally, the ball landed in his hands and Ingram just dropped it. Just now, the one that kind of made me do this section was he hit Sterling Shepard on a touchdown pass right in the chest, right in the numbers. All Shepard had to do was bring his hands up, cover the ball, and come down with it. And I don't know what he was in his mind that made him bring his hands up to his shoulders instead of to his chest and whatnot. Basically, he dropped that too. But Jones is out here throwing dots, throwing strikes. As his nickname, he's throwing dimes. And also, the offensive line has been performing absolutely horrible on this entire second half. The defense, because we're leading the time of possession in the second half right now, the defense is performing okay. They got to stop, and we were supposed to score on this drive. And as I'm talking, the Giants challenged this play for pass interference. I doubt that they're going to get it because there is no pass interference on that. That's just straight up Shepard dropping it. But the defense has been doing what they needed to do, what we should expect from them. They got a sack. They got to stop. We were supposed to score. Pat Shurmur, once again, being a little too cutesy. We got a couple holding calls from the offensive line. I don't know what's happening there. The offensive line just forgot how to play football, and the receivers forgot how to catch. I don't know, man. It's just like the entire team looks dead. Everybody looks gassed. They just look like they gave up. But I just wanted to get this section out. So it's not the end of the game yet, but might as well be the end of the game. DJ just made his third bad throw, but the first one to be intercepted of the game by Anthony Barr, who has been absolutely killing the Giants' offensive line and apparently has that athletic ability to jump in front of our receiver Golden Tate and make an interception. But man, oh man, was this game just terrible from the start. I really and this is somebody that's like been on the list of shame, so to speak, since week 1. To be completely honest with you guys, the only good game he had wasn't even an entire game, but it was the second half of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was the only good showing from this guy. That is our head coach, Pat Shurmur, who's also in charge of the offensive play calling. The only good game he had was the second half of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Other than that, I said it after week 1, I said it after week 2. And I actually said it after week 3 last week, where the play calling was horrendous. We were lucky that we faced the Redskins, because were it any other team, we probably wouldn't have come out with that win because of the way the offense performed in the second half last week. It was very suspect. And then this week, it seems in the first half he was just being too cutesy. You know, he was outsmarting himself, running a little too much of end arounds, running a little too much in general with the running backs that we had, which cannot perform to the level you need to perform for the plays that he's calling, and he wasn't taking enough deep shots. In the second half, the deep shots problem is still there. There were not enough deep shots in the second half, but he's doing a little too many slants, a little too many drags, and then on this very last drive, he already gave up because all we did was throw to Golden State on 3 short comeback routes, and that's not how you play if you're trying to get any type of touchdown, any type of lead back. I say that as the Vikings just scored a touchdown, I think, or it's first and goal, whatever the case is. He was calling a game with these within these last 4 minutes as though we already lost. But if you coach like that, you're going to lose no matter what happens. I don't know, man. Pat Shurmur's just been really inconsistent, and for this year, really bad. You know, take that Viking games out of the equation, and he's just been really bad, and he's been worse than what he should be with the offensive weapons that he has and with the offensive line that he has. And I'll give him a mulligan on the offensive line part because they were really bad today. They performed horribly. Allowed like 4 sacks, allowed a lot of QB pressures. Nate Solder had like 3 holding calls and all that. But yeah, man, Sherman's just been really bad. And another guy that's been bad but also inconsistent, James Bettcher, our defensive coordinator, he seems to just not know how to call plays in the first half, and then in the second half of every single game, he calls a good game. The defense adjusts. They prevent the opposing offense from scoring. They help turn the ball over. They help get our offense the ball back. But he can't do that in the first half. In the first half, what the theme has been is that the defense are continuously playing in zone coverage, allowing wide open passes to be made, allowing big gashes from the passing game to be made, allowing a lot of scores to be made, and they just can't seem to tackle in the first half. It's the exact opposite thing in the second half. So I don't know what's happening if that's the defensive player themselves, but when you have a problem, the problem of inconsistency that is so consistent, and that's a very paradoxical statement, but it's really the only way to describe it. We're inconsistent in the sense that we can't stay good, we can't stay bad, but we're consistent in the way that we're inconsistent because we perform horribly in the first half, but really good in the second half. So the only person I could really put it on is the defensive coordinator because I've never seen anything like this before. But if we want to have a chance at anything next week, and it is a short week, we play on Thursday night primetime instead of the regular Sunday against the New England Patriots in Massachusetts, in Foxborough. So it's already, everything is stacked against us, going up against the best team in football. But if we want to have a chance, and Saquon might be returning this game, play calling on the offensive side, run the ball a lot. Okay, run the ball a lot. DJ is experiencing his growing pains as expected because he is a rookie quarterback, so run the ball a lot. Please take some shots downfield, and when you call short passing plays, mix it up. Don't keep it as just comebacks and drag routes. You know, mix in a little of crossing routes. Do what the Vikings did. Mix in a little bit of screen passes. I want to see more play action passes next week since we're going to have Saquon back. Or at least that's the timeline we've been given. And on the defensive side, what can I say except Bettcher, call the game like it's the second half. Close your eyes and imagine it's the second half because that's the only time you call a good game. But yeah, that's what I got for y'all. Really so disappointed with this game. I mean, really disgusted with the play calling on both sides. I feel so much like this is week 1, week 2 all over again. But I don't know what else to say, man. Let me know your thoughts down below. Who would you put this loss on? Do you agree with my statements on Pat Shurmur and James Bettcher? Do you guys think they need to be gone? I'm not going to go back there and say it again because, you know what? Let the year play out. Let's see how the year goes. We could still end up as 7-9 team heading in the right direction. And if we get lucky, and I mean if we get really lucky, maybe make the wild card. But one thing's for sure, I'm definitely not calling a win for any games anymore. I'm just 0 for 2 when I did that. I did it with the Bills game. I said we're going to win. We lost. I didn't do it for the Bucks game. I didn't do it for the Redskins game. And I did it for this game, and we lost. So I'm not doing that again. But that's what I got for y'all today. Please subscribe, support the channel, like, comment, share. I'm out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Put your comments down below. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Until next time, I'm out.